treasurer's report of April 2024.
So moved.
Second? Second.
Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carried. For discussion, code of conduct, summary of changes.
So this was nothing again for, formal board action, but Mr. Schultz had been working through the committee process for our annual code of conduct review, and so just wanted him to be able to speak to the process, and, hit on a couple of points of, what were any significant changes, or, for example, we did have additional layer of assistance this year in working out the changes.
Yes.
Worked out well, so.
Yeah, sure.
Just give us a little
We had
summary.
3 meetings in the spring up till May. Mark's Aloha out of OHM BOE, safety expert, safety act expert, helped us tremendously. Reviewed it, done a number of these, so it was great to have him. So I want to continue to have him around, not just for the review, but throughout the year if we need anything. But did a great job. Those recommendations, a lot of those are it's really more language, cleaning up, specific, making sure we're consistent. The one thing I will point out that I thought maybe is maybe the one to focus on, besides the language and so forth, of the first section, really the first part where we need to be consistent. We found inconsistencies in our language related to the Dignity for All Students Act versus our Code of Conduct. And so the 3 recommendations we put there cleans that up, that we define race, gender, and national origin as noted there. So we would that would be good to put those in there, the definitions area as well. So really important to make sure we're consistent between documents, but also just making sure it's put together well. So that was really what he found. He went through it very thoroughly. So it's very good, very helpful to have him there. Great questions in the committee, but just very helpful. And some other conversations came out as well, but for this was the focus, and he was very, I just can't say that, but it was very helpful.
Now, question for you.
Yes, sir.
Is there for a reason, or was that a typographical error?
Probably, let me see, where are you?
Same text twice, once halfway through the list. So I'll make sure there's no difference between those 2 sections. It's like the 11 protected classes language is found on these pages. There's a couple pages, and it says the 11 protected classes language is found on these pages.
Yeah. It's a duplicate. Thank you. Yes.
Okay, just make sure.
Yep. Great catch. Good catch.
So there'll be 2 parts to it. The formal review, because sometimes you have recommended legal changes, regulations, whatever. But the other part that is important is when we start the new year consistently, K-12, what are areas of emphasis through the process of the review of the code of conduct? There always are things that people will often mention as an area of concern. You look in the document, the language is there that might need to be more universally emphasized across the district. And so that's something that we'll look to do as well in the coming months. And when we get together and sort of compare notes, and that'll be something that we start the new year with, and updated focus on certain areas that is important.
Any other questions or comments? So if I see 1004, the code of conduct, it's gonna be there, Lauren?
Yes.
And then I can look
Well, so these new changes won't be, these changes won't be reflected
There's a
in.
document that I have that's worked on that hasn't been read. So they're not been approved. It's just like, so that's probably what you'll eventually get is that, so any of these changes are is in the actual another code of conduct, or our code of conduct, but they're reflected in red. So,
Okay.
for example, it says on page whatever, that's supposed to be code of conduct capitalized, it's in red and it says it's capitalized. So you would be able to see where all these specific changes are in the actual code of conduct before approved.
Yeah, this is to give you the previous,
Just
sort
an
of to cut
overview,
through the
right.
whole document. These are the
Right.
things that were
Right.
recommended for change, and
That's
then
right.
they'd be incorporated into the document itself and
Yep.
approved and
And you would see it. Yep.
disseminated.
Yep.
But basically, in other words, I'm making, again, I'm just looking through this, but what what you're really looking at then is, for the most part, language, right?
It really
I mean,
was, except for those 3 definitions, which are, I think,
Or
very important,
definitions, but-
because we need to be consistent, especially when you're dealing with, obviously, discipline and anything related to it, that we're clear about what is it, things are defined. So, but yeah, other than that, it is just consistency. You had one page, the code of conduct is not capitalized, and one it is. One page, the superintendent is capitalized, and one is not. He said this needs to be consistent, so it really wasn't a major, more grammatical. Correct. Yep. Good, very helpful.
Okay, new business. Resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the board does hereby approve the contract for health and welfare services with East Syracuse Manoa Central School District for the 2023-2024 school year. Motion?
Motion from Lauren, second from me.
Any discussion? And notice, Sean said when we were going over this, this is for the past year because the districts just send it in, right?
Yeah, some of the problems are, again, this is a frustration, I think, that, and Tracy can speak to it as well, but we can't approve it if it's generated by the district providing the service. We can't approve it until we have the contract from them, and so I think that's some of the reasons why sometimes
Yes.
we just don't have them in hand to approve.
Yeah, so these are our parochial children so the parochial school districts that reside in the boundaries, so you've seen 1 or 2 come through last meeting, you see another one come through this meeting. The school district in the boundaries of those parochial schools provide the service, but the home districts are responsible for the cost. We don't know who is there until we get the billing contract. And they appear in this region, they all come in June.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carried. Resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the board does hereby approve the 2024-2025 pre-K classroom lease agreement and the 2024-2025 CTE classroom lease agreement with Madison and Ida BOCES. Motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Do all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carried. Resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the board does hereby approve the agreement with Celebration Children's Center effective July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2025. Motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carried. Resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the board does hereby approve the non-instructional substitute rates for the 2024-2025 school year. Motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carried. Personnel recommendations. All appointments are pending clearance on fingerprinting. Resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the board does hereby appoint Caitlin Breckenridge on a probationary basis in a 10-year area of health, with the understanding that the named individual has applied for New York State certification appropriate to and required for that position, and that the probationary appointment shall commence on 9/1/24. That the probationary appointment shall expire on 9/1/28, and that the named individual to be eligible for an appointment to tenure. Upon expiration of the probationary period, it shall be necessary, but not sufficient, that the individual has received an annual professional performance review rating of either effective or highly effective in 3 of the 4 years of the probationary service and has not received an annual professional performance rating of ineffective in the final year of the probationary appointment, as based on ratings derived in compliance with educational law, section 3012-D at step 4, bachelor's plus master's plus 30 hours at $57,833. Motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carried. Resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the board does hereby appoint Mark Kraus as the assistant principal in the tenure area of school building leader effective July 1, 2024, with 4-year probationary period with a salary of $95,000. Motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carried.
Mark is with us tonight. Some people have met him, had a chance to meet him, some have not, so we want to congratulate Mark on his appointment and welcome him.
Congratulations. Other, resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the board does hereby approve the following rates for permanent substitute teachers. Certified at $40,000 a year. I can read these together, right? Non-certified at $35,000, and an additional $500 will be added for each consecutive year. Motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carried. Resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the board does hereby appoint the following permanent substitute teachers for the 2024-2025 school year. Do I read these separately? Yes?
No, you can,
All is one.
All together? Alexandria Jones at $42,000. Melanie Henderson at $37,500. Mona Rizzo at $37,500. Samantha Miller at $37,000. $37,000. Sarah Russo at $37,000, and Judy Balducci at $36,500. All the motions?
So moved.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carried. Resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the board does hereby appoint Melissa Bunio as the National Art Honor Society advisor for the 2023-2024 school year. Motion?
So moved.
Second?
Sorry, should that
Need a
be
second.
24, 25?
this is for the last,
Need a second, okay.
Second.
this is for the last year.
Okay.
It was, she had been
Missed.
in the role, but it wasn't on the original appointment.
Sorry
So
about that.
it was this past, it should be 23, 24.
Okay, so going back, Tracy, what do I need?
No,
No, you just needed the second motion to
Before
open the conversation.
Okay.
Before discussion.
So where am I?
We have a motion and a second. Vote.
Okay, vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carried. Resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the board does hereby appoint Tamara Patney as district office support at $40 an hour effective for the 2024-2025 school year. Motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carried. Resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the board does hereby appoint Susan Merrill as district office support at $40 an hour effective 2024-2025 school year. Motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carried. Organizational and regular meeting, July 9th, 2024, 6 o'clock in the media center, because the organizational meeting, 6 to 6:30, right, will be the organization meeting followed by the regular meeting. Proposal, to go back into executive session?
Four.
For a personnel. and-
Personnel, well, we've got to.
Contractual.
Yeah, and contractual. Motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carried. So we're in executive